So today on the Dragon, we're going to be doing some reeds. These are reeds. They go on the air intake side of the engine. These little pedals, they fluctuate. They trap air in and don't let air back out. So it regulates the air going into the engine. And we got, they're located at the very bottom of the engine. So we gotta take a bunch of shit off to get in there. If you look here, see that gold? That's one of the reeds. Two sets, one here, one on the other side. So let's get in there. Okay, a few minutes later, if I can get it with, we got the air box off. Well, we got a bunch of pieces over there we took off, but now that we can see there, see the gold? Those are the reed cages. I'm pretty sure there are 6 bolts maybe per. You can see there's not a whole lot of room in there to work. Gotta get, there you go, there's a couple of them, 2 in the middle, one, another one in the corner way over there. So we're gonna get those off. It's actually the throttle body boot first, but the same bolts that hold the throttle body boot on also holds the reed cages in. Okay, so all of our bolts are out now, and we got to carefully try and remove these out of there. Now this piece is going to come off. They're actually going to stick together for me. That might be nice. I don't know if I can do this one-handed here. It's very tight in there. Even with the throttle bodies there up out of the way. Yeah, gotta do it 2 hands. Throttle bodies. That's what the air goes in through. See those little things here? They flap like on the top of a muscle car engine. You see that? That's my muscle car noise. Cool. Okay, let's get these fuckers out. So I think it was a total of 12 bolts. All these gold ones. And because it's so tight in there, you gotta be careful, because if you drop one of them way down in there, you're gonna have a bad time. So we got our reeds out now. These are the old ones. Now I'm gonna show you here why we're changing these. So see those little chips in the top? We don't like those. Those aren't good. See, there's one here too. I don't like that because it weakens the pedal. And if a big enough piece of this breaks off, like these have burnt, they're not really chipped. I shouldn't have said chipped, whatever. They're missing pieces. If these or any plastic off these breaks off, they go right down into the engine. They point into the motor this way. So your piston is right here. Bang, 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 bang. So any piece that goes beyond, it's going to get into the motor, into the crankcase. We do not want any foreign pieces in that crankcase at all. Oil and fuel, that's it. No plastic, no metal, no dirt, no nothing. So before these have catastrophic failure, we put in some new ones. So they're out now. Right down in, so hard to see, but whatever, down in there. So we see how there's no room in there, and we're gonna use a little trick of the trade here. See these paper gaskets? Okay, so I'm gonna, as long as they're in decent shape, hopefully I can get those off and keep them in nice shape. We're gonna transfer them to the new ones, but because when these go in, they're sitting like that, I don't want those paper gaskets to fall. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little tiny bit of oil. I'm gonna put it on the back side here, okay? And what that's gonna do is when we put our paper gasket in, when we put the reed on, then we can sit our gasket on it. And the oil will just help keep the gasket from slipping away down into the engine bay there while we get, so reed goes in, gasket goes on, and our throttle body boot here goes on. Okay, then our throttle bodies go into the throttle body boot, then our air intake boots, then our airbox. So we need that gasket to stay nicely between those two. So we'll cheat with a little bit of oil here and help keep them all sticky. Let me show you by what I mean by there's no room. Can you see our ratchet down there? So we're doing the bottom corner bolt. If we look in here, you can see my number 8 there, my number 8 socket. That's on the bolt. That's the only visual we have of the bolt. So you're kind of reaching in and then trying to, there's fuel lines in your way and shit. And we gotta get that tightened up. I've got maybe 1/4 inch per anyway, pain in the ass, eh? Pain in the ass. Alright, so moving real well here. Our reeds are in. Way down there you see the gold and the blue paper gasket. Our throttle bodies are now back on. We're going to put on our adapter boot here. Just going to sit in there like that. Just got to go down onto those throttle bodies. There. We'll tighten up our hose clamps on him, and then our airbox assembly goes in and snaps down onto that. Then we put our whatever you want to call the guard that goes on this thing. I don't know. We put it back on. We plug our TPS sensor back in to the airbox. Hook our fuel lines back up to the airbox right here. We're done. So that's the airbox. That's what the sled breezes air in through. Goes all through that box. That hole here is going to snap down in to that plastic flange there. Okay, and this cutout here goes around our jack shaft, that gold axle running across there. So what that actually is, the motor makes your power, turns your clutch. Your clutch turns the belt, which turns the primary or the secondary clutch. Your secondary clutch turns that jack shaft, so that thing spins like a mofo. On the other side of the jack shaft behind the oil bottle is a chain case, which takes the spinning jack shaft, spins a chain and a bunch of gears, and then those gears end up going down and spinning that thing right there. See those cog wheels? That's your axle. That's what drives the track. So that's how it all works. Engine to clutch to belt to secondary to jack shaft to chain case, down and into the track. Cool. There it is. New reeds in and back together. So not terrible. I think this job took me an hour and a half. So not bad. It's not my first time doing these, so I do know the process, but all in all, not a horrible job. Fucking dealer charge you $200-300 labor just to do that. So happy we can do it here in the shop. One more job done.